Hello, everybody. Welcome to Galaxy Brains, where that is not your 19th best ball draft of the week. It is your 19th nervous breakdown after user at Crypto Marv Levy snipes you on Khalil Shakir, and in your frustration, you time out into Allen Robinson. Didn't you like the football-based joke?
I do. I also love the term Crypto Marv Levy. I think I need a Kraftwerk cover band named Crypto Marv Levy.
Yeah, Crypto Marv Levy. He has the highest status of avatar on Underdog, I believe, which I think is a platinum medallion that they give you after you draft 69,000 teams.
Yes, sounds right.
Crypto Marv Levy is an Underdog power user. Denny, you know who's not an Underdog power user is Bill Belichick, because he has never used a computer. Nope. He's never sent an email. He's never checked a schedule. He's never participated in a message board. And there's also something he does not know how to do online related to travel. And he gave an interesting comment when asked about DeAndre Hopkins visiting the New England Patriots this week.
So a reporter, beat reporter for the Patriots, asked the simple question, hey, Bill, when is DeAndre Hopkins going to come visit with the New England Patriots? Of course, Hopkins recently released by the Arizona Cardinals. And Belichick had the most Belichickian reply to this question, which was, quote, I'm not a travel agent. Amazing. I mean, really, it's actually artful in a way. And actually, so we were just intrigued by this. We've been talking about this for days. Okay, and us at Galaxy Brains, the whole staff, all 50 staff members of Galaxy Brains, and so we looked further into whether this is a one-off sort of response from Bill, or if this is the way that he operates. And it turns out, folks, that he replies to everyday questions like that, like the I'm not a travel agent comment. So one thing, we have a recording of him at home on a Sunday evening in the off season, and his wife says, hey, Bill, can you get the ground beef out of the refrigerator? And he says, no, I'm not a butcher. Okay, so these are this is the way that he talks, Pat. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, after they barbecued, they did eventually barbecue. It was not barbecue, grilled the ground chuck. They made 8 different patties out of 2 pounds of ground chuck, Denny. They were smaller patties. They planned to save some. It's kind of unseemly. They froze some of them.
Oh, dear God.
I would never do that. The next morning, after the cleanup, the kitchen's back to normal, except for his wife notices some coffee on the counter, is wondering who spilled the coffee on the counter, asks Bill who spilled the coffee on the counter. He says, I don't know. I'm not a molecular physicist. I don't know how moisture works and water droppings work. I don't know how that got there.
That's right.
And he's holding his coffee mug, and it was quite clearly just filled the coffee too full for absolutely no reason. I never have done that. And my wife does not constantly get on me about filling my cup of coffee far too full. I'm not a molecular physicist either. I actually identify with Bill.
And I get that. He is every man, really, in many ways. Look, Bill Belichick knows one thing, 2 things, I should say. One is when to blitz at the quarterback, and then 2 is to always bench your best player for missing 1 block. That has guided him to a very successful career, maybe the most successful career ever. Those 2 basics. Beyond that, you can't ask Bill to do anything, and he made it clear with the DeAndre Hopkins comment.
He also knows that if your reputation is staked on maybe having the greatest player of all time, you can maintain the aura of genius by just never directly answering a question, which is really where the I'm not a travel agent comes from. They asked Bill, who's the quarterback this week? I don't know. I'm illiterate. I don't even know how to write a depth chart. So why don't you ask someone who knows a little more about that, Bill O'Brien? We'll see what happens. And wow, man, he's just he is just a different kind of dude. He's an iconoclast, that Bill Belichick. I didn't know he was illiterate.
It's amazing he's gotten this far. You got to hand it to him.
You do got to hand it to him. Who you also have to hand it to is Stefon Diggs, who pulled off what seemed to be a physical impossibility this week when he both did and did not attend Bill's minicamp. Stories have never been less straight than the Bills when asked about Stefon Diggs' attendance. But we kind of got to the bottom. It was actually fairly straightforward after all. How was Stefon Diggs both at and not at Bill's minicamp this week?
Yeah, I mean, in case you missed because it lasted, this story lasted for about 35 seconds. The story goes like this. Reporters say, hey, everybody's in attendance at Bill's mandatory minicamp. Everybody except for their star receiver, Stefon Diggs. And they asked head coach Sean McDermott, hey, are you worried? Is this a problem that Diggs is not here at, again, mandatory minicamp? And Sean McDermott replied, yes, I am very concerned about this situation. About 35 to 38 seconds later, to Stefon Diggs' agent said, no, he's there. He's there.
You know, and Denny, just in typical, sorry, I didn't know if you knew, and just typical, like their hunger, their thirst for clicks, the mainstream media just hopped all over the seeming contradiction, just all over it, talking about all week. But the Bills seem confused, like someone is lying. Stefon Diggs cannot both be at Bill's minicamp and not be at Bill's minicamp, but this is Galaxy Brains. There actually is no contradiction whatsoever. I don't know if you've ever heard of the concept that our phones have us forever elsewhere, Denny. It's actually quite sad. We don't do anything in the real world anymore. And just Stefon Diggs was so logged on, so in the zone, posting wide receiver tweets that people were tagging you with all week, saying stuff like just about like knives and backs, and the king used to have clothes, but now he's dead, or something just totally inscrutable. He was so logged on, and they actually qualified as not being in Buffalo. And wow, I don't know where this thread is going.
Yeah, no, I mean, he physically he was there, but mentally he had checked out, and he was posting cryptic wide receiver posts to his phone and making my life a living hell. Honestly, for 48 hours, I got nothing but notifications saying, "Hey, Stefon Diggs is doing the wide receiver tweet thing. Look at that! Hey." So thanks, Stefon, for doing that. I think what the phrase you were looking for was, the king not only has no clothes, the clothes are on fire. I think that's what he actually
and I didn't understand all of them. I mean, you don't have to really understand a cryptic tweet. Like, they don't have to be like literally true, but they have to like feel true. And I didn't know if the meatloaf has never been browner, but the knife has never been sharper. I don't know if I really got that one. And the parking spot may say Sean McDermott, but the car, this is going absolutely nowhere.
It would actually make more sense if you looked a little bit into it. I mean, I would expect you to, but apparently not. And you would know that Sean McDermott's nickname is actually Meatloaf. So that post actually does make some sense.
At Crypto Marv Levy, at Meatloaf Sean McDermott. Then he's someone who should be one of the frequent stars of the show, who should be mentioned far more often than Bill Belichick, is free agent quarterback Carson Wentz. But one of the problems he's not featured more often is because he is a free agent. He currently doesn't play football for anyone. That is a problem he's looking to resolve. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Carson Wentz wants and intends to sign this season and is awaiting the right situation. Fair play. Every player is usually waiting for the right situation to sign. But you could find yourself asking, what is the right situation to sign Carson Wentz? A casual observer might say no such situation exists.
That's not true.
Sign Carson Wentz. And I hear that you think that is not true, though.
That's absolutely not the case. Okay. I'm no Carson Wentz apologist, but there are many situations that I can think of, and maybe you can think of, where it would make sense for an NFL team to go out and sign Carson Wentz. What if, and this happens, this has happened, and it could happen again. What if all four of your quarterbacks on your roster slip on a banana peel simultaneously and injure themselves on the subsequent fall? If that happens, what are you doing? You're calling Carson Wentz, and honestly, you're starting Carson Wentz after. The banana peel thing is something that NFL teams don't think about enough. No, and obviously NFL fans don't think about it enough, because no one even mentioned the banana peel scenario in this reporting about Carson Wentz training, I believe, with John Gruden, which is another interesting choice.
Very interesting. Very provocative choice of trainer. Kyle Shanahan, by the way, has actually been trying to get the banana peel rule passed, where you're allowed to have a fifth quarterback to start the NFC championship game. If for some reason on NFC championship game Sunday, all four of your quarterbacks were injured for slipping on banana peels. But really, it's not the only. So that we're going to fix that problem. The banana peel problem is almost fixed. There's NFL, the ownership committee is expected to vote on it next month. But what if your entire quarterback room simultaneously decides to sign their Oakland Athletics contracts at once, and they all go get assigned to high A Stockton and begin their baseball careers? Or what if your quarterbacks, all four of them, stumble onto a legitimate online Nigerian prince, and all for the low price of $11,000. They give him the money to repay them. He brings them back, makes them part of their kingdom. I can't even remember what the scam was. What was the online?
I think it may be marrying his daughter. It's hard to say.
It's very hard to say, but that happens. Or you came up. You're just really into drafting Caleb Williams.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you are really committed to getting Caleb Williams, you are absolutely making the call today and saying, Carson, you're coming here and you're starting 17 games because we want Caleb Williams. We talked about, Caleb Williams technically is already a Buccaneer. But a team could really throw a wrench in that situation by signing Carson Wentz tomorrow. Just something to think about.
I think the final reason too would be no one wants to be on Hard Knocks this year. I don't know if you've been following this. They can't get a team to appear on Hard Knocks. They're actually asking the Detroit Lions to appear for second straight season. Say you want to save Hard Knocks and produce record ratings for Hard Knocks. What do? You sign Carson Wentz and turn your entire locker room into cloak and dagger nonsense, have the whole team hating each other by week 1, and revitalize a storied but staid television franchise and Hard Knocks. Denny, that would be a very legitimate reason to sign Carson Wentz, I feel like.
Listen, we don't have enough content in our lives. We need more content, more Carson Wentz-centric content. Please, somebody sign this man.
And we need less of Galaxy Brains because the show has gone on too long. So for Denny Carter, I'm Patrick Daugherty. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next time for more brain expansion.